Welcome to T and T, where we spotlight independent artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people. Hello, our Facebook and YouTube family. You guys are the livest audience members on this side of the South. Give yourself a round of applause. I have two epic co-hosts. We have Titus Glenn, and he is looking so debonair and dapper today. One of our co-hosts, Titus Glenn. I'm sorry you couldn't hear him because maybe his mic is muted. We have a co-host that is the CEO of Winking Out Production, Mr. Kyra Hyde. And you here at home, what we want you to do is make sure you like, comment, and share. If you are on YouTube, subscribe, honey. And we're going to get this show started. Titus Glenn and Takara, are you guys ready to play a game?
Oh, I guess so. What about Titus?
Well, I want to hear from him. I don't know. Titus, are you ready? Hello?
We can't hear you, Lance.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Lance. Hey, have you ever seen Lance Sullivan on Best Man? Okay, I'm sorry. Titus Glenn may be suffering from a hoarse voice tonight. You may not hear him as much, but I just want to let you guys know that Titus is still here in the building. So thank you so much for your support. All right, we're not going through this show like this, friend. I will bust you out in front of all of in front of the entire family, in front of the whole Facebook, YouTube family. Friend, unmute your mic and don't be rude. My mama and my Aunt Betty and my Aunt Susan and everybody said when you walk into the room, you're supposed to speak. So, Titus Glenn. And God said it. Everything that has breath, let them praise him. So go ahead and give him your breath praise. Okay. We're not about to play with Titus. All right, y'all. Let's get our game started, okay? All right. We are going to start with question and answer. We're going to go with question and answer. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to get to know our co-host a little bit more today than we have. Okay, so Titus Glenn, what was the most everybody on Facebook just went home. Titus Glenn, what is the most embarrassing moment you've ever had on stage? Y'all, me and Takara take y'all seriously. Okay, we really take y'all seriously.
Titus Glenn, unmute your mic right now. I can read sign language, but I don't think everybody else can, okay? I think he said he's gonna type.
Let's let it be known when it comes to business. Let's let it be known who wants to play and who wants to not. It is business time, Titus. Unmute your mic. Now that you have your nice vest on, unmute your mic.
He said he's gonna put it in the chat.
Let's move, y'all. Tonight may be a short show because I can't do it for all of us. Takara, let's just move on along because I can't deal with it. Okay, Takara, hi. What is one of your most embarrassing moments you've ever had on stage?
Forgetting the lyrics and writing the lyrics on my hand, like I had. I'm sorry, Titus.
So I'm on a morning show. It's called Clubhouse with Pre-Market with Antonio. And when I end the show, I say, if you're not having a good day, just don't go messing up nobody else's. And right now, Takara's trying to say her answer. And being Titus Glenn, Takara, please, let's keep the show moving and state your answer, please.
Okay, so my answer is forgetting the lyrics and practicing all weekend long over a song, and like Sunday morning comes or performance poem. I'm not ready. So I'm in the car typing it on my hand, writing on my hands. And then when I'm singing, I'm really like, oh, praise the Lord, hallelujah. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, okay, what's the next line? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's give her a round of applause. Because that was very bold of you to say. Let's go to the next question. To Kyra, you a little sideways, sis. Just...
Sorry, I was reading Titus's message.
Please don't even entertain it. We're not gonna let a foothold come in, okay? Next question. Okay, so who is your celebrity inspiration when it comes to your life or entertainment? What we do now? Who's your celebrity inspiration, Titus Glenn? I apologize for my call.
Do I read it?
Don't you know? You know, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We will move right along to Kyra Hyde. What is your celebrity inspiration when it comes to entertainment?
Oh my God, celebrity inspiration. There are a lot of them. Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Stevie Wonder, Tammy Terrell, the Temptations, Smokey Robinson, a lot of the producers. So Aaliyah, Timberland, Genuine. That's a lot of them. So even on the countryside, I love Shania Twain. And so yeah, it's a lot.
Yay. You really well rounded. That's good. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. When it comes to business, who are you inspired by when it comes to business? Titus Glenn. All right, Takara, who are you inspired by when it comes to business?
I'm gonna say two people. I really love Angela Blair. I love the way she moves. She makes really good, smart business moves, and she's just a really good person to, give some business advice. It's gonna be uncandid, but it's definitely gonna be good advice that sets you up. So I like her, and somebody else that I'm really looking at is Gugu. I love that's Tina and Mary's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She has a really good business mind, and I kind of been watching how she moves as well. So she's one of my favorite ones of the women. Of the men, I'm going to have to say Uncle Steve Harvey.
Oh, yay. That's my Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve. I love Uncle Steve. I like the way I like the way he talks to people in the business room. I like the way he conducts like he's the boss, so I like him, and I guess that's pretty much it on that side.
Okay, well, it's 9:09, so we would go to break if we can get the break set. I don't know. Okay, so I would tell you who we're about to listen to, but I don't know. So I'll pass it over to Titus Glenn if he's ready to do the show. They're gonna really think we're beefing today, and we really aren't. But I mean, I don't know what Titus is going through. But he had a rough week, y'all. He had a really rough week. A really, really rough week. Clearly, because he don't even want to show up on the show tonight.
He might need a little. Never mind.
Prayer.
So we're getting ready to get into.
Oh!
Miracles happening.
There's an angel in the house. His name is Titus
every day. Absolutely. We're getting ready to get into this group called Red Ink Army with this song called Be You. So let's take a moment and just be you.
before you're formed in your mother's womb. He for new strengths and weaknesses that he would include. Get your hands off snooze and get to walking in those shoes. Designed with a purpose to fulfill Christ's news. Disciples like a card game, you gotta go fishing. Beyond the shadow waters is where you catch the misfits. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens. Conduct the call. He's looking for his instrument. God arranged the parts of the body like he wanted them. Not playing your role is like the Eagles with no Donovan. Daniel, Jacob, Ruth, Sarah, Peter, and Samson fought through the struggles, overcoming circumstances. Need you to be who you were created to be. Not like the world and up one of God's enemies. Yeah, new or old Christian, dive into the scripture. Ephesians 4:11, which fits your description. Be you.
There are many parts, but one body. Be you in Christ, you are somebody. Be you, you don't have to be nobody else. 'Cause in Christ you are success. With that said, be you. There are many parts, but one body. Be you in Christ, you are somebody. Be you, you don't have to be nobody else. Be you, be you, be true. Be you, be you.
Who remember when Jay-Z mentioned he was the blueprint? And to succeed, you tried to do him, but who all recall when JC stated, I'm the way, the truth, and life, which in layman's means the true print. And he like it cause he do check that when you be you, it is done correctly when you just do it. And don't feel being alone when singing your new song, cause when Jesus comes along, it's a duet. And when you're flying solo, don't be surprised that your homeboys be like G5s in your crew jet. Just build your house on a rock that's solid. That's a Tim Allen crib, cause that's a home improvement. You not a loser, you's a winner. In fact, the race that you running just a victory lap. You not a puppet, so he love you with no strings attached. And like $1 zillion bill, nobody changing that. And that's that.
There are many parts, but one body. Be you in Christ, you are somebody. Be you, you don't have to be nobody else. 'Cause in Christ you are success. With that said, be you. There are many parts, but one body. Be you in Christ, you are somebody. Be you, you don't have to be nobody else. Be you, be true, be you.
If you're running with the wrong crowd, then I'm advising you to stop. It's important to know who you are, but also to know who you're not. You didn't fit in anyway. You realized it from the start. You were formed to be unique. Your potter set you apart, so you can't hang out with the norm trying to kick it like they do. You don't belong to the world. God copyrighted you, so just simply be yourself. Don't try to be the same. To keep your life on track, you have to stay in your lane. Just be ready to be used, like David with his sling, and live your life purposeful, cause homeboy, you a king, and baby girl, you a ruby. You don't see those every day, and you have beauty. Forget what the magazines say. You're the head, not the tail, and never are beneath, so you don't need a tattoo or a grill on your teeth. So don't give your pearls to swine. Yes, your father's a jeweler. You were born to be different. He didn't make you peculiar.
Be you, there are many parts, but one body. Be you in Christ, you are somebody. Be you, you don't have to be nobody else. 'Cause in Christ you are success. With that said, be you. Be you. Be you. Be you, be new, be true, be you, be you.
And that was, oh, sorry, Madam Secretary. You want to give the audience? My bad.
We're just glad Titus Glenn is speaking, everybody. Here you go.
I've been speaking. Everything I said needed to say was in the chat.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone. If you haven't done so already, please like, tag, share this podcast video where we are just friends talking about indie artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people. And tonight we have our special guest, Kendall Henderson. Kendall, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you quite well. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are excited to just be in your presence. First, I want to thank you firsthand for playing the single "New Beginning." As an indie artist, it means a lot to everyone that will allow us a platform So thank you on behalf of TT&T and Titus Glenn Music Ministry and Penny Heart for playing the single New Beginning.
Oh, it's no problem, man. You were humming anyway.
I'm a what?
I said you were humming anyway. You were singing.
I was humming anyway. Okay, cool. That's what's up. So tell us about you. Like, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Dallas, originally from Dallas. We're located in Dallas. Went to several high schools here. Grew up in the Churches of God in Christ, so it's a lot. I know a lot of people. A lot of people know me in the sense of as it comes to the church atmosphere, but pretty much that's it.
Okay, born and raised in Dallas. That's what's up. Share with us like how you got started in the radio and what brought you into the business.
Sure, not a problem. Actually, the radio station DFWN Radio Gospel Station, we actually started as a show through Blog Talk Radio. If you're familiar with Blog Talk Radio, and we actually started it as being a show for small business owners, trying to promote small business owners, since it's so expensive to be on regular radio for advertising spot. And so that's where we started it. And then I just kept saying to myself and my wife, I said, it's got to be a way we can have a radio station with what we were paying Blog Talk Radio and be able to do it on a larger scale. And then God blessed me to run into a network through Facebook, where we started for like 2 years. And then we ended up with, now we're on the Live 365 platform, which is the best platform in the country for us internet radio, because they pay the licensing fees. They keep you guys paid. So if your music is registered, every time it spins, ching ching.
That's what's up.
But I mean, we did it that way because of the fact that, when you're in radio, it's so many costs, for those different licensing that can be very expensive. So we just transitioned over to Live 365. And when we did that, everything else just kind of took off from there.
So that's so Live 365 for indie artists, they still get it's still reported to BDS.
Right. If you go to Google and Google Live 365 and licensing, it's a statement that you'll see where it includes all of the publishing companies for music that they pay. ASCAP, CSAC, I think it's a few more. But if you Google live365.com and Google licensing, yes, sir, they pay all of the major music publishers.
That's what's up. Well, I won't talk your ear off tonight. I'm gonna get it over to our awesome.
I wanted you to talk to me, man, because I'm like, how did this guy hit these high notes? You're gonna have to tell me, man.
What high notes? I'm a singer too, man. Go ahead,
I'm a singer too, so I'm like,
really?
How is he doing it?
What high note did I hit?
I mean, it's just when you sing, like, I mean, it's that high note is so crispy. Like, some people.
Are we eating chicken?
No, what I'm saying is, like, some people, like some men, especially on those that are either low tenors or high tenors or whatever. Some people can hit that note and they struggle, and some people hit it crispy. You just straight up crispy when you hit it.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate.
They shaking their head, so they agreeing with me.
I appreciate.
We agree with you. You know what? How about you? Do you have any other questions for Titus Glenn? Take your time now and ask him about his artistry. Listen, Kendall, let me talk to you.
Let me ask this question. I mean, because this is something that this is part of our motto, is that we do believe in making ministry, gospel music, and small business number one. And one thing I noticed that in the indie gospel artist community, those that put their home in on their craft and don't waste their money and put their money in on janky promoters, but put their money in quality recording where the mixing and mastering is what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts? Because my thing is, if we are supposed to do everything with a spirit of excellence, there shouldn't be a difference in between indie and mainstream. So what are your thoughts on that? Because my thoughts is it's not a difference if you're putting in the work and you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, my honest opinion, oh my goodness, you're opening up a can of worms. Because I think that's why we kind of started this podcast, was to give space to indie artists and entrepreneurs. I really have discovered that within the industry that I know it to be, there are a lot of cliques. And so for the mainstream, whatever pillar you're on, whether it's gospel, R&B, what country. I think it's a matter of who you know. And of course, there's a pathway to putting in the work. You also got to put in the work, but even in sometimes putting in the work, it's about who you know for them to open up their doors. There's so many gatekeepers.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's the barrier. I believe I believe that two things are happening, in my opinion, in gospel music. This is my opinion. This is not for everybody, but I think overall, compared to CCM, we as African Americans, and I think this is overall, we don't mentor. We don't have a lot of. There are people that mentor, but there are more spaces that do not mentor. Neither do they reach back to pour in and build up, only if they feel like you have potential, right? But on the Caucasian side, if you show up and you just show yourself like you have a heart and want to do it, they will literally take you through the ropes, show you what to do, and they have avenues. I will use this as an example. I've been to two types of conferences. I've been to an African American conference and I've been to a Caucasian conference. On the African American conference, when it comes to a music venue or whatever, it's just pretty much figure out where you need to be, and they have all these classes but no organization. But when you go to a event on the CCM Caucasian side, they have paths. If you want to be a songwriter, these are the classes you need to take. If you want to be a producer, these are the classes you take. So I think there's a structure that certain groups have that we lack, and it has us behind because we're not literally pouring back, but we're only going up by ourselves, if you will. But that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
And so that's why people don't know about mixing and mastering. So because I grew up, and I don't want to take up all your time, but I grew up and have had my ear to the wall, and I have people like Tim Clifton, hanging around Tim Clifton, who produced my first album, The Worshipper's Corner. Having people in my corner like DeMarcus Williams, who who was the brother of Myron Williams, who had given me opportunities to sing with Juanita Bynum and stuff like that. So I have had the experience, but also I'm one of the people that'll be like, if you call Titus Glenn and you need an answer, I'm an open book. And what I tell even artists that come to me about starting an album, no matter what you do, make sure you put your money in the mixing and the mastering. And people don't know that. They'll put all this money on the music, but then they don't even have a good mix, and the quality is horrible. So when you get to radio, they're like, I can't play this, because if I play Fred Hammond and then you come next, it's literally gonna be a difference in sound. And no matter how good the quality, no matter how good the production is lost in the mixing and the mastering. And I think that's a level of training that most artists don't go through, and all they are concerned with is producing or getting their song out, but they don't take the steps to make sure that their product is quality.
Okay. Awesome. Well, the reason why I'm glad she gave me the opportunity to ask you, because when we started our station the first year, I met a gentleman. He called me and he was saying, Kendall, if you want your station, if y'all want your station to make it, you're not going to be able to accept everybody's music. And when I say that, because I've had to have some uncomfortable conversations with artists. I mean, you can tell they heart there, but I had to become the kind of person where, how can I say, I had to have a face and an ear of steel. When I have to tell an artist, hey, right now, you're not at the level where you need to be for recording, because there is issues with music. It is issues with mixing and mastering, right, and quality. I mean, I used to hate to have that conversation, because you'd be surprised at some of the comebacks and conversations I've had, like, God called me to do this, and I understand. But even with the spiritual side of it, I guess a lot of people sometimes don't understand. There's a natural application that goes with it too, because the Bible said first natural, then spiritual. So right, that's something that I always wondered, but I had to do that. Some majority of them have respected that, because they let them put them on the right path to where they need to go for as getting their music better. Let me fix this. How about that? Is that better? Or still too loud?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You can
All
turn
right.
it down. You can turn it. Just turn it.
I'm gonna cut it off. Is that better? Okay. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much what I had to do, but I don't do it in the sense of being mean.
Right.
I just feel like that it's being more mean when you don't be honest.
True, absolutely. And I think, to go into that, we were talking about that tonight. I think there's a different caliber of people when it comes to artistry that are not there because they don't want to be discipled. Right. So instead of taking the information, taking the critique, they take it as an offense. And so I think there's different layers to everything that's happening. Like if they really wanted to have their music on a different platform on your platform, they will take that critique and they will go back and redo their stuff. But because they hold on to it, and it's almost like as a songwriter, shout out to Penny Hart, you can't hold on to certain ideas of what you think. Right? Because what you think might just be that, but it might not be valid in the space of what you're trying to produce. Just like even now, even when I went through my single and listening and mixing and mastering, I'm sending it to people that know the industry and getting their feedback on what you think about this, right? And if they are telling me something, there's things that I'm critiquing to make sure that it's done right the first time.
Right.
So, you got another question?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm here to answer questions and whatever y'all need me to do.
We're good, but thank you so much for the question. We are definitely in the process of even putting some vocal lessons together digitally, so I can share with people on how I have maintained and still learning how to maintain my vocal quality and expanding my range. So, Madam Secretary Takaro, don't my friends look well tonight? She put the jungle on her shirt, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is it Fort Worth Zoo or Dallas Zoo.
Oh, that is some shade.
Kendall, hello, Kendall. How are you?
You
doing?
going
I'm
next?
doing
Okay.
fine.
That's amazing. So I'm going to ask some simple questions because my job is to make sure that the audience, our Facebook and YouTube audience, get to know you. I'm going to start off really, really simple, and then I'm going to work my way up to the harder questions, okay? Let's just start off with, what's your favorite color? All right, green.
Well, I like green because those were my high school colors, so
What high school you went
that's
to?
Brian Adams.
Okay. Alumni Brian Adams. All right. Okay, so let me ask you about little Kendall. Well, were you faith-based? Did you grow up in the church? Are you a PK? Tell me the story of how you got started.
No, I'm not a PK, but I did grow up in a family where we had a faith-based background. Like I said, came up in the Kojic church. My grandmother took me to church. I went to church with my uncles and everything before my mom got saved, and so I knew I was different in the sense of like I tried to do stuff that other kids did, what we call weirdly, but I never fitted. But I never saw radio coming because I stuttered as a kid. I stuttered so bad I couldn't even say simple words without fumbling. So I never saw this coming. This was something that was a second point of confirmation for me that radio was the way to go, because it's something, God don't never give you something easy. He gonna give you something that's gonna challenge you.
Okay.
So yeah, so I started out with, Koji. I'm a Koji kid. And like I said, I originally accepted salvation at the age of 16. And like I said, like most, didn't stay the path like I should. God had to let me go through some challenges in life to whip me back in the line. But thank God he gave me an opportunity, because everybody don't get the opportunity to come back. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Do understand. Okay, so you were saying that you grew up in, a Kojic church and you had the girth of, Christianity. I want to ask you about what was the merger to radio? Like, what was your first steps? What was that feeling when you first sat in the chair and was like, okay, this is what I want to do? What was that feeling like? What was that day?
It was, I had a little fear of the unknown, and simply because I had reservations because of my, like I said, my stuttering, my education background. I didn't have an education in radio. And before internet radio, you had to have some type of education or degree, because you had to learn the different equipment that you have to use, the mixers, the masters. But like I was telling Mr. Glenn, I grew up a singer in church. So I grew up a musician. So a lot of that stuff, equipment that we use, I'm not a stranger to a mic. I'm not a stranger, I play the bass, I play the organ. So it wasn't foreign. I use it in the church, but when you're doing it on the outside versus on the inside, you can make all kind of mistakes at home. But when you're doing this every day, you don't have the flexibility to make those type of mistakes. So I was kind of worried about that. But like I said, God blessed me where I started up under a network first with the station after we left Blog Talk, and Blog Talk gave me a real good learning base, because if you know anything about Blog Talk, all of your stuff is on a virtual back office, your microphones, how you can answer the phone and different things like that. You can play tracks, you can upload the tracks. So I learned a great deal with the first year I was with Blog Talk. So that pretty much set me up to learn the technical side. Then for getting over my stuttering and being nervous, I just prayed. I prayed and I told God, if I could testify and I can get up in front of hundreds of people and sing and I can play before folks, surely I can do this. And then so it just, one of my friends gave me some good classmates, gave me some good advice. He heard me on the air. He said, Kendall, be yourself. He said, don't sound scripted. And I read very well. I can actually look at a paper and read, and you'll never know I'm reading, because that's how good I can read. So that's how I got started. I translating just like I said, the fear of the unknown. Once I kind of got my feet wet, then it was second nature at that point.
That's good. I just have one more question. Is this it for you? What's your next, what's your next goal? Are you gonna have
my goal, Lord, as long as God allow me to live, I go, and I said it 2 years ago. I said our goal is to be the #1 internet gospel radio station in the country. Because if you think about it, and like I said, I don't know where you from or whatever, but like even around Dallas, we only really have one gospel station. KGGR, KHVN died a long time ago. And 89.3, they only do the religious programs, I think, on Sunday.
Did you say it died?
Yeah, died. I mean, buried. Golden Gate dead. On table 10 dead.
Sir, I cannot.
No, because if you do the research, a lot of these radio stations are selling out. Because see, when social media started allowing like preachers and ministers to kind of, start doing the social media ministry, that means that they weren't gonna keep paying KHVN and KGGR those big amount of monies to broadcast. Like, and I'm gonna say this one thing and I'm gonna be finished. If I told you what we charge for like a broadcast for a ministry and versus what they charge a regular radio station, people have had, I'm not gonna say the nerve, I don't want to say gall, but people have had the boldness to tell me it's too much. And we only charge what last year we charged $50 for an Apple broadcast. This year we only went up $25 to $75 a month, and whatever time you pick, you come on that same time every day, Monday through Sunday. You see what I'm saying? And then I had to explain this. I actually had a preacher tell me, well, why don't you just donate some airtime to my ministry and let God bless you? Then my mind immediately went to the scripture where Jesus told Peter to go fishing, and he said, the very first fish you find, you're gonna find enough money in the fish mouth to pay your taxes and mine. And I made that reference to the scripture because if Jesus didn't run from his responsibility, then why do we run? I mean, you want product. Do you tell Nike that, okay, I don't want to pay the $75 for these Air Max? Yeah. Do you tell Chanel that you don't want this bag?
Yeah.
I had to go there because I got more women on here than this thing.
Nah, that's okay. That's
But
okay.
no, but I mean, and that's the point I made to him. So said that to say this, it's a lot that go with this. It's not about just being behind the mic and playing good music and assisting small businesses with commercials. And I think Miss Takara know about the promotion that we have with the YouTube promotion. She's shaking her head, and we giving that space away free, because how we gonna say we want a better ministry and small business if we don't give anything? I mean, Galatians 6 and 7, take that right out your mouth. If you don't sow it, you're not gonna get it. Hands down. So you're welcome to ask me more questions if you want to, because I see one on your face.
Well, no, I mean, as you're speaking, I don't even know if it's a question. Here at TTNT, we opened this up. It was 3 friends having a conversation, but then we wanted to expand and say, hey, let's bring independent artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people on here for free to advertise, to tell their side of the story, to be able to have a platform, right? To create a table that is suitable for, everybody. There's people doing, it's not just Black-owned business. There's new businesses coming up. There's all types of businesses, but we want to be the hub that is not a clique. We are the table, and there's enough room for everybody. And so when I hear you, speaking about what you're doing for YouTube, that right there, what you just said, if nobody on here took anything, they can take that y'all need to contact him when we close this out. If you are a social media presence or influencer, contact him and see how you can be connected. And that's where my mind was with this. So, well,
I'll say this before we get to someone else. That scripture basically said, God said what? He said, be not deceived, mean don't lie to yourself. God is not mocked, mean God said he's not gonna make fun of himself. That a man sow it, that shall he also reap. Y'all been given, so it's coming back. And a lot of times this is what as people we fail to understand, Madam Secretary. I'm gonna greet you properly.
Yes, sir.
that the only part we control in the sowing and reaping is being obedient and giving it in the right heart. We have no say of who give it back or how it come back. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Preach,
so that's
praise.
I'm not. I know. Don't
don't
throw the column my way. But no, but it's just facts, because that's what hurt us. Because when we do something nice for somebody that we know we being nice to and we blessing them, it hurts our feelings when we think that it's supposed to come back from them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could be honest to you, and I heard people saying to see them say it on social media all the time. Do you know who majority of my listening audience come from? And we've been a station in Dallas for 5 years. Guess.
Everywhere else.
London, Finland, Orlando, Florida. And the ones and I do have some church members that tune in too sometime when they can. But my majority of my support comes from people I don't even know. Mm-hmm. So I had to start looking at the radio station as not just a gospel radio station, but as a ministry. And the ministry mindset is what? Whosoever will, let him come. That way you don't get your feelings hurt. Because the only way you're gonna push on, the only way y'all gonna grow y'all platform, because y'all got something awesome and nice and sweet. You got to get that mindset, a ministry mindset, whosoever will. Yeah. Let him come, because you're not going to be able to be a blessing to everybody.
I received that, sir. I received that, Kendall. And I feel like we'll be connected, I feel like we're in the same realm of helping. And I'll say this: hurt people, healed people, helping people, they help people. And I love that. And I believe it's time for a commercial break, and then we'll pass it to Takara. And thank you so much. And we'll have our commercial break.
Not problem.
All right, let's get back into rating Armic with Casualties of War.
We're at war, and let's crying. We're at war, and let's dying. And with war, lives are taken. We are casualties
life in Jesus, baby.
We are casualties of war.
It's wartime. Are you fighting on the Lord's side? If you know you are with no doubt, then hallelujah is your war cry. If you're not sure who you're with, then you're clearly fighting on the wrong side. Who is your God, and we fight by your side? And your boy cries, cause it's a catastrophe, fighting in a war that has so many casualties. And that's not cause there are fatalities, because so many lost their lives and didn't have the king. It's the saddest scene to see a fence, and these cats seem to be saddling up, cause they straddling. So I hit the block and I'm packing heat. Now the strap, see, is the cross on his back indeed. So I'll ride and I'll fight for my Lord. He's my master, I'm bowed and I'm down for the cause. If there's lost lives that can be found, I'll die for the cause. Cause
we are casualties of war. And that's war. And that's crying. And that's war. And that's dying. And we war. Lives are taken. We are casualties of war. But there's life in Jesus. 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 Life in
Vessel, I'ma ride with you on this one, homie. See this? It's wartime. Are you fighting on the Lord's side? Every 15 minutes a teenager commits suicide in the Middle East. Even on our streets, all I see is war zones and hatred. There is no peace, and we're misled, nation against nation. I don't think we see the magnitude of all we're facing. The calamities, famines, the wars and the rain, persecution and death for the sake of His name. On Calvary, yes, on Calvary, He shed blood for a sinner like me. This strategy, yes, it baffles me, cause I know I'm not worthy, but yet He still came down and served me. Casualties, 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 casualties. We are casualties of war.
All right, and we are back. If you're just now joining us, we are with Kendall Henderson, and he is we talked about radio, we talked about how he got started. DFW radio, did I say that correctly?
Is DFW then radio gospel station?
DFW radio gospel station. So y'all make sure y'all go check out DFW radio. You will probably hear Titus Glenn, New Beginning on there. So Takara, I think it's on you, sweetie.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Titus. Okay, Mr. Henderson, I first want to say thank you a million times over for allowing Titus Glenn to be a part of your network radio station. I know that you said earlier that you're all over, so that is a blessing to hear from this. Titus Glenn will be heard all over the nation. So I'm so thrilled to have you on the show tonight. The first question I'm going to ask you is about, you mentioned earlier about indie artists. Can you give some advice to indie artists about radio promotions and how it works, and what should they look forward to when giving radio announcers their music? How should they go about it? Just give us some advice to indie artists.
Well, like I said, the only two main pieces I can really say is, because now with us being with Live 365 and learning a little bit more, the only two things I can say is, again, like I made the first mention, mixing and mastering. Make sure you put, deal with legitimate companies and producers that are really good and have a track record. Like research them 10 times over. Make sure you do your homework on that. And then the second thing is make sure your music is registered and register with one of the music publishers, whether it be ASCAP, CSAC, because what you want to make sure is that the reason why, especially if you're dealing with a radio station like an internet radio station, because if you research it on Live 365, it's only 9 of us, 9 gospel radio stations on Live 365. So, Mr. Glenn, when you get the opportunity, I have a connection in Florida. The name of her radio station is Love Joy Gospel Radio Station. So it's LUVJOY. You can look them up, and the owner's name is Sister Lovejoy. Contact her and tell her I sent you, and she'll play your music too.
Really, 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 really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, I mean it's about giving. That's the whole point. It's about giving. So that's the only thing that I really would say to any gospel artists is make sure put your money in the right kind of mixing and mastering, and make sure your music is registered.
And you also talked about those hard conversations with artists. I guess what I want to do is add my 2 cents to that topic. I think it's important for us to do it the right way, and not necessarily the music, but the conversation. If you do it from a spirit of excellence, like you're producing the music, even if you're talking to the artist, and it's an independent artist, and you ask what's the difference. The difference is they're not a major artist. They don't have a record label that's backing them, right? So I feel like if you are having this conversation and you are the bridge over the water, you are the person that can lead them to their next level without what Titus just said a few minutes ago, without being biased, whether you feel that the person is experienced or ready or not. If you have the opportunity to get them ready. Maybe God sent them to you. So my comment to you is, have you ever been put in that position where you had to lead someone to the next level?
Being honest, I'm gonna say no, but the kind of person I am, because I don't like, I'm just being brutally honest, maybe as my wife say, in my feelings. But since I don't like getting my feelings hurt, I'm gonna do my best not to hurt your feelings. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a cliche, but it's been said for years. Think twice, speak once. Think about what you're going to say, your tone, how you would feel if you were in the other seat. Then you think about it. And then a lot of times I pray, I may say a small prayer in my mind, Lord, how do I approach this person? Because the majority of the times I don't talk to artists on the phone. The majority of the times they email me. They email me their artist flyer, all their bios, and then the music that they're trying to submit. Used to be when we first started, we just took it no matter if they sent it 2:00 in the morning. If I seen a deal come across my notifications, I would get up and upload it. But I had to put a little structure to that. So when I get the email, I'm able to listen to the song. That I actually listen. When I let artists know I review it, I review it. Because like I said, the knowledge of me being a musician, knowing sound, knowing parts, knowing, how it's supposed to be put together, that helps me a lot. And I'm able to listen to the lyrics because, I mean, and Mr. Glenn probably know better than me. There are some people that write a song and make a song, especially in gospel, has nothing to do with Jesus, has nothing to do with God, has nothing to do with helping anybody, inspiring anybody. So I have to, I listen to the lyrics too. And so then it helps me kind of cater to how I'm going to address them. And then I have in most cases, I have a pre-written script that I've already put together, letting them know, and it's put together well so they'll understand this is not coming from a personal space, but coming from a business perspective. And I tell them, hone in your craft, better your craft. This is the time for you to, to learn everything you need to learn. Then when you're ready, you can resubmit, and we'll be more than happy to take you. Because there are stations that charge independent artists to play that music. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need God cursing nothing we do. So I'm not even gonna cross that bridge. So no, I'm not gonna charge you, but I am gonna demand the best from you. And when I say demand, I'm gonna tell you, okay, of course we're not gonna play it, but I'm gonna tell you this is why we're not playing it, and this is how you can better that. So that way they don't just leave being tore down. They're getting built up. Okay, like, hey, I can do this, but I need to comb in on this. So that way they learning something, they learning a skill, what they have to home in on, and how to get better. Because I mean, we all at one point. I mean, you don't have no clue how many times I done got told when I was younger, coming up in church, especially in Kojic church, the main thing musicians learn is how to shout, how to play shout music. They tell you, don't be trying to do all the other stuff. Learn how to stay in the pocket. But, I used to think, okay, well, you holding me down by telling me to learn how to stay in the pocket. I want to do something else. But that has bettered me as a musician now, because I can just about go to any church that we go to that either know us or don't know us. And no matter who playing, guess what? That bass line going to be hidden, about to bust the windows. Because, I stay in the pocket and I follow. Because, and so that's a good example of that. You don't bust a bubble, but you let them know, then you give them something to build them up and stay encouraged.
Right. I definitely agree with that. And my last question is that I want to turn it back over to either Madam Secretary or Titus Glenn.
And she looked like she ready to get me too. Yes.
How important is relationship with the radio announcers and the radio department in general for the artists? In your opinion, how important is to have a relationship? Because I'll put myself out there. We text, we emailed, we called, we talked, we had a conversation even before or during the process of you receiving the music. So my question to you is, how important would that relationship with that particular radio announcer and station, how important is that to have a relationship?
It's good. But I mean, I guess because of the God in me, I always jump back to what the scripture say when it talks about a man's gift will make room for him.
Yeah.
Your gift to open doors for you. Your gift to open the door faster for you than your mouth.
Right. You better say that.
So, especially and see, and then it goes back and again, many are called, but few are chosen. So if God called you to be a songster or a songstress or a musician or in the media, if that's your calling, your gift and callings are without repentance. So God didn't give you that for you not to use that. And, a lot of time we wonder, like sometimes like you may be doing one profession and then God called you to do X, Y, Z. You making good money, but you still not happy. Like I'm doing customer service and I told somebody, they said, well, do you do the station full time? I said, no, because the station is not able to take care of itself yet and take care of me and my wife. So that means I'm going to be a working entrepreneur until God say otherwise. But the type of job I do, it gives me freedom to run the station and make sure, because I mean, we're an internet station. So we run all of our playlists at the Live 365. They do the mix. We just put you guys' music in there and it does the mix. So the more music we add, the stronger the mix is. Like you might tune in, hear Mr. Glenn, and right after Mr. Glenn go off, you'll hear Andre Couch through it all. Because we digging from way back, because our goal is to propel gospel music from the point where it should never have left. And the reason why a lot of radio stations are failing, because you're taking the main key out. You're taking the gospel out, you're taking God out. And you're making it more about the promotion instead of the gospel. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yes, it makes total sense. I'm just, this conversation as a whole has really helped me, and I hope it helped someone else out there on the internet. I'm not sure if we have any questions online tonight or not, but you have truly helped me and I'm going to land my plane and park my bus. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Henderson. You have no idea how much of a blessing you, your wife, please thank your wife for her her tenacity to stay in the business, you know, because we don't have a radio station to go to that keeps us in the loop as a community. And I want to thank my co-host for living the dream and creating a table. And thank you once again for allowing.
Don't make me cry, man. You finna make. Oh no, this
because it goes so deep for us. It's beyond music for us. Some of us I'll speak for me. I'm that little girl, little country girl with the dream. And I never once in a lifetime thought I'll be on here with my friends doing something that I love to do, music and talking. Talking about everything and anything under the sun, including God, and God is in the center. But I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all independent artists that you play our music. And it's in London, and it's in Australia, it's in Japan, it's everywhere. So I appreciate you, and I want to thank you. And I'm going to give it over to Madam Secretary because I feel a tear.
Oh Lord.
It sounds like you're ready to go with you. Let's keep it with you.
Well, I said I thought she fit to say, hey, I thought I fit to see this. I said, oh God, have your way.
You just don't know. But you know, it's been a road. It's been a long journey.
But you know, even though we're not at a church, but you know, what did the Bible say? When there's three or more gathered together, He's in the midst.
Yeah.
And you know, this may be what y'all needed. You know what I'm saying? To push on to the next level. Because I'm not the only person that you're gonna come in contact with. Because I mean, if y'all give me y'all information, I'm gonna tell other people. Because you know, we have 6,000 people follow us on LinkedIn. We have over 1,700 on our Twitter account. And you know that video I was asking you all to kind of make together. As soon as y'all get me that, it's gonna go on your YouTube channel. All I do when you send me the video is I hashtag it to what you guys do and I drop it. Because people treat YouTube just like Google. They look for hashtags. You know, and I mean, hey, it's nothing fearful, man. When you feel the presence of the Lord moving, let Him have His way.
And you know
that's what He came for.
He was moving when I looked you up because I saw everybody. I saw the group, the 9 that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. I saw the 9 in there, and I said, Lord, who do I go to? And He pointed me to you. You're the person that He wanted us to try and wanted us to be connected to. So I praise and thank God for your yes, because some people would have said no, even though the simplest thing would have been to say no, I'm not interested, or we have enough music right now, or we're not accepting music right now. It's a process that you have to go through. That's what the artist does. Some artists don't realize, but at the same time, you said yes. And so I want to give thanks to you and appreciate you and your wife.
Let me say this. I'm not gonna do that, but I would say this. I'm grateful because of the many doors that have been closed in my face. In our face, because you'll be surprised of let me say this. I'm not gonna name drop, but I had a mainstream gospel artist that I'm connected with. I share her business information, and every time she have music, I get it and I play it. I didn't even remember that I was friends with Isaiah D. Thomas. You know, the one that sings on Run and Tell That. I didn't know I was even Facebook. I forgot I was Facebook friends with him because I had friended a lot of them a long time ago when we first started. But none of the major gospel artists would respond. But I still kept pulling their music and playing it. And I asked this individual person. I said, "Ma'am," I said, "What would it take for you to do a radio drop for us?" Because, you know, we play a lot of her music. So all they got to say, you're listening to my song on the DFW Then Radio gospel station. That's it. That's less than 30 to 45 seconds. Do you not know how she responded? She responded with her Cash App and said, anything that you can sow. And I'm promoting you. And every time, because see the music, how the internet radio stations do it, because it's hard to kind of contact the independent, the major gospel artists and their record labels. When you go to YouTube, I know you have been, Mr. Glenn, to YouTube on the major gospel artist YouTube channel. Do you see where the videos are dropped by the record label? You can nod your head if you. Okay, so when you pull those, they have a converter. You can find any converter that convert YouTube to MP3. If you pull the ones that have been dropped by the gospel artist or the record label, when it's spin in the system, because Live 365 pay the royalties, it's still going to read it because the record label dropped it. So it's coded properly. So that's the thing that independent artists really gotta home in on and making sure is that your music is properly coded and registered. Because people can pull your music and do what they want to do with it. And if it's not coded, let's just say they are playing it on their station. If it's not coded, you're not gonna get any credit for it, you're not gonna get paid for it. But if it's properly coded, like and registered, ching ching, that's all I'm gonna say. Ching ching and ching again. I'm just being honest. There's no other way to be honest. But protect yourself. I don't care how long it take, man. If it take you 6 months, handle your business. If you got to get a second job on the side, do what you got to do, drop that bread and go and get your music published with either ASCAP, CSAC, and you can again go to Live 3, so go to Google and click and type in licensing from Live 365, and it'll show you all the major music publishers that the fee that we pay every month to have the station. A portion of that goes to our licensing. And then I would tell any independent artist, man, stay away from those major radio stations right now. Find you some internet stations, because they're not governed by the FCC. So if you're talking about something in your music that some may consider controversial, it can still be played and you can still get paid. Because I'm not saying you won't get to that next level of the major radio stations, but I'm telling you, I told my wife 2 years ago, if you don't have your business on the internet done took over, and it's for to take over even more. So these regular radio stations, they're gonna be out the door after a while, and everybody's gonna be on internet.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
I know that.
So I'm done talking. Unless y'all got something else to ask me. I know she look like she do.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching. You need a t-shirt that says cha-ching.
That's it.
Listen, it has, listen, you dropped so many nuggets, jewels. We don't even have to do nothing else. I'm going to give you this. We play a game called Off the Dome. I'll do one word. You give me a song with yes in it, and then we can keep it moving.
Like the name of it, or
it can be in the title or in the song. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. You know, that's I can't think of the name of the group, but he bobbing, so he know.
We got you. We all know that song.
Yes.
We all know that song.
Indeed.
Listen, thank you so much for coming out. I'm gonna pass it to Titus Glenn, but before we do that, I just want you to you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Titus Glenn. You've given us everything tonight. You've given us you. Yeah.
So Kendall, I want you first, audience, everyone that's watching, please give it up for Kendall Henderson for joining us tonight and giving us valuable information about radio and artistry and how you're presenting your product when you're trying to come to radio. I mean, those are amazing nuggets to even know from jump. If you could just share us your handles so people can know how to follow you everywhere on all social media.
Okay, yes, sir. We are on every social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and there's a new one too called Alignable. So if y'all not registered, that's free, and it connects you with local businesses that you're around.
Oh, it's called Alignable.
Alignable, www.alignable.com, and it's
Okay.
free. You build your business profile. It's going to ask you what type of customers you want to get connected to, and then it will connect you with those that are in similar fields or want to get to whatever industry that you're in, and it connects you to those that are around you. Now the free account is kind of limited, but it still works. So that's what I'm using, but it gives you the options of how you want to, if you want to upgrade it. But it's called alignable.com.
Got it.
Cool. Thank you
And
so much.
And you can find it. You can find us everywhere under our station name that I did type in the chat. DFW Den Radio Gospel Station.
Yes,
and also we're on Instagram too.
Okay, I'm putting that in the chat for all of our listeners to see as well. So y'all guys, you know how we get down here every Wednesday, where we are spotlighting entrepreneurs, indie artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people. Now I am all over the place with my talking in this moment. So fix your face, Madam Secretary.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Don't do it.
Listen, if you need your lashes did, your makeup done, if you need photography, if you need work with fitting, and you need fashion, get with your girl, Madam Secretary.
You do clothes? You didn't tell me?
I do. I asked you your favorite color. I have you looking like a Southern gentleman tomorrow.
Well, no, this is what I've been looking for, because I'm a big guy. So, and I like to wear suits, but right now suits just not getting it for me. So all I'm trying to get done is some vest suits, like just with the 5-button vest and slacks.
I'll make sure you have my information. Once we go off live, just stay on with us, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So, thank for that connect. Awesome. And I did it without making a joke. So kudos, Titus.
Yes, kudos. Please pat yourself on the back.
And Wicked Eye Production, give it up for your Takara. If you need someone to sing at your wedding, at your bar mitzvah, just lend those vocals, background, give it to your girl Takara, wedding singer. Listen, hit her up. And if you need a dope song, give it your boy Titus Glenn, and be on the look out for the songwriting course that we're getting ready to release under Penny Heart Consulting, our nonprofit organization. So guys, we are blessed to have you online tonight, and we will definitely see you next week. God bless.
Please remember to go get Titus Glenn New Beginning at www.titusglenn.com.
Yes, and one more thing I need to remember, guys, if y'all can do me a favor, if you see a flyer concerning a night of inspiration, March 26th, share that flyer. Make sure you are in the building. We are going to have a night of inspiration with Titus Glenn at Freedom Church on March 26th at 7 p.m. And it is a free event. So those that did not come to the live recording but wanted to, y'all come fellowship with us, come hang out with us, and we're just going to have a good time. All right, we will see you guys later.